Ep.2. Last time did not really introduce ourselves, so I'm gonna let us put names to the voices. So
Caleb Lynn,
Devin Voss,
and I'm Zach. So let's start with the Super Bowl. Pretty bad game.
Gosh dang it.
Pretty bad game.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to take away from it.
I was like, when it was happening, I was like, is this the worst Super Bowl of my lifetime? And then I remembered Broncos Seahawks. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's the worst.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, the defenses were pretty damn good. You know, the Rams played they played hard, but just couldn't get around Jared Goff. I mean,
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah. No, I thought, going into that game, I know Devin and I thought the Rams were going to win it, but gosh dang it. I mean, Jared Goff. I mean, his talent was taken away like Space Jam, and when they they go to the Monstars.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just like disappearing, it was non-existent. I was looking for, a sighting of Jared Goff, and I just couldn't find it. and I was looking for Todd Gurley, but I really do think Rams are hiding an injury, so I'm going to defend him on that. But I really, I mean, looking at that game, I was like, man, what they were doing and what made them good, like, non-existent. The defense was there, but nothing offensively.
Nothing.
Patriots were a masterful job by Belichick.
I mean, besides Cooks, they got nothing from Woods.
No,
nothing from Gurley.
Not really.
I mean, Anderson.
Yeah, and I think the loss of Cup showed in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about getting those crosses down the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have been nice, but yeah, but I really, it was a tight game, but when you knew throughout that game, the pace of that game and the way that game was being played, that the Patriots were going to take it.
I never thought the Rams were going
to
to win.
swallow.
I never thought the Rams were going to win. Like, I never got the feeling, Rams can win this game. Even when it was 3-0, I was like, Patriots, they're going to win. I mean, it's Tom Brady, so all he had to do was be better than Jared Goff. He did not have that good of a game.
That's an easy task.
No, he was 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. He only completed 25, 37 or something like that. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, he was really bad. The Pats went 3 or 12 on third and 0 for 1 on fourth, and they still won. That just shows, the Rams' offense only totaled 260 yards.
Yeah, I mean,
They're just not going to do that.
Who else could have won MVP besides Edelman? I mean,
The punters.
Yeah, the punters.
And Johnny Hecker.
Johnny Hecker, yeah.
Johnny Hecker. Yeah, actually, I took some notes.
What a game.
Yeah, you got notes on Hecker?
417 yards punting, a 65-yard punt, and downed it 5 times within the 20.
Damn. Do you guys remember one of the times the Colts lost to the Chargers in the playoffs? The Chargers punter had a career game.
Yeah.
And it's like, this guy has never done this ever before. And in the playoffs against the Colts, he just wakes up.
No, I thought it was just it was a game, that was not what the Super Bowl wanted. In terms of the idea of having the 4 top offenses in the championship games.
Yeah.
There being nothing
Nothing.
non-existent. And a lot of that's due to defense, but I think some of it was execution as well. And as McVay has said in the post-game conference, he felt like Belichick was, out-coached him. And at the end of the day, I agree. And at the end of the day, you got to live with the results. But, this is a young team, young coach. I think there's chances down the road for them. And, obviously the dynasty of New England is continuing.
Yeah, I think I'm done just rooting against the Pats because it's done me no good.
Yeah,
for the past 5 years.
No point in it anymore.
It's just there's no point. I mean, especially after the Falcons game, there's no point. They're gonna win if they want to win. They're gonna win.
I think the real question that should have been brought up is, do you guys think the Saints could have won?
I think they would have put up more than 3 points. That's for sure.
That's agreeable, right
That's
there.
for sure. I think they would have won. I mean, I don't know.
The defense worried
I think
me.
the Saints would have won.
Yeah, I think the defense worried me, but the offensive weapons were there.
Yeah, I think
You know, it wasn't so easy to, like Belichick can't say, do what he loves to do, which is literally, I'm just going to design my defense to take out your best player, and I don't care. And that I don't care what it does to me. I don't care if it gives you 400 yards with a bunch of running backs that can't tell you. We're just going to do whatever we're going to do. And I personally thought that if watching that game and trying to think of it from the perspective of the Saints, I mean, I think Thomas would have been a tough matchup for them. How they have matched up against Kamara. I mean, I just think any linebacker is going to have a tough time in that. And even if you put a safety in a corner on him, I mean, this man's just a beast. So.
Yeah,
I don't know. I liked the Super Bowl with the Rams and the Pats at first, but part of me wishes,
I
what's
wanted
that rep
Chiefs
gonna do?
Saints.
Yeah.
I wanted Chiefs Saints. Like that would have been big time. No defense in that game for sure.
I would have been okay with Pat Saints because I just want to see the battle of the two old men.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's tough to argue against what Drew Brees has done.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been the MVP if Mahomes, just didn't go off. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's the Pats, it's Belichick. It's in this game, it was mostly Belichick.
Yeah,
not a lot of Brady, but
he didn't take out just one player. He took out their whole offense.
yeah, I know. I mean, we could talk about Todd Gurley. Like, you think he was hurt, or you think had to have been hurt? I mean, what else? Why would you keep him out?
I don't know.
C.J. Anderson, the guy's a bowling ball. Just put Gurley in. He's the best running back.
I'm with you. I was just. Why are you riding and dying with the guy that you gave that extension to at the end? At the offseason last year. He is a player that many of us consider as one of the players we want to have leading our franchise. If you're the Rams, you're giving him that contract and he's not out there. What the heck is this? What the heck is that garbage? I was shocked.
Yeah.
No disrespect to C.J. Anderson and the bowling ball, but I wanted to see more of one of the top players in the league, and it was a bummer because you knew the defense was great. They came out, they played hard. I was really impressed. We were talking about this last week. Dante Fowler, man, had a very solid game.
Yeah.
The trade was well worth it, especially when you show the results of that game. And it seemed as if the D-line was really figuring it out. But then, gosh dang it, when you look at this offense, it's just unbelievable. They couldn't give you anything. And I wanted to see Gurley out there knowing what that offense could be, what that offense has been all season. And then for him to just kind of, get his way through in a way. The Saints game get built up by C.J. Anderson, and then they needed an impact player like Gurley. I personally want to say he's injured, because I love watching him play.
Yeah.
I love what he can do at the running back position, but I don't know, man. We'll have to find out next season whether that's the truth or not about Ty Gurley.
Even if he was injured, though, you think this is a Super Bowl. Why not put it all on the line?
No.
Yeah.
For real, he's the one who got you to where you are.
Basically.
Jared Goff is a play-action quarterback, as people clearly found out in this game.
Jared Goff.
Just freaking hand the ball off to Todd Gurley. He's the one guy that got you there.
If you would have told me 2 years ago that Jared Goff was going to be in the Super Bowl, I would have said, no, you're wrong.
Way.
No way. But, I don't know. He had a chance. I mean,
he'll be back. For sure.
He will.
Yeah.
He will. They got good enough talent, and it's going to be interesting to see what the league is going to shape up next year with all these young cats coming into their second year. What's a guy like Lamar and Mayfield? We talked about that last week. What are guys like that going to do to impact the races? So I really think that it was a disappointing Super Bowl. I think in a way. I did like the defense, but it was disappointing in a way, and looking forward to seeing what next season's going to provide.
Let's quit talking about that. Move into let's talk about Porzingis. The Knicks just totally You guys know. You guys know how much I love the Knicks. So just totally incompetent. Totally just stupidity. I'm gonna go on a little Knicks rant right here. Okay, so just sit back. The Knicks have been totally irrelevant for 20 years. They haven't had a player for their last great player was Patrick Ewing. They just traded their best player since Patrick Ewing. I mean, yeah, Melo had like 3 good years, but how many times did he get you to the playoffs? Never got you past the second round. Last time they were in the playoffs, the Pacers beat them. You know, the famous Hibbert block. It's just like, and I'm sick of the respect they get. Everyone's like, yeah, they got 2 max slots. So what? Who's going to want to go there? Who wants to go there? Yeah, it's New York. It's New York, right? Biggest city in America. Everything's there, but like, what do they have? They just traded Cantor, the second best player. The best player right now is Dennis Smith. Dennis Smith. I mean, and now KD's gonna go there. He's gonna go from top of the league to dead last. I don't know. The only asset they have is hoping they get the number 1 pick. But yeah, so there you go. It's my Knicks rant. Yeah, what do you guys think? What do you think of this move?
I'm with you. I mean, what were they thinking? Like, I mean, yeah, you're gonna open up cap space, but who's gonna go to NYC? Who is destined to go to NYC? Melo made sense years ago because, you know, he was dead set on New York. He was from New York. He went to Syracuse. All
just
this
wanted
stuff.
the paycheck.
Yeah, and the paycheck. But
that's all he wanted.
I mean, at the same time, who wants to go there? Their biggest free agent acquisition was Amari Stoudemire in the past 10 years. No one wants to go there because it has so much drama and you're under so much scrutiny being there just to live up to expectations.
I mean, they tried to build their team around Stephon Marbury, and when that didn't work, they turned around and built it around Melo and Amari and Amari's knees. So, like, and Tyson Chandler. Like, come on. I don't know. What do you think, Caleb?
Well, I'm gonna, I know you're on the negative side for the Knicks, all right. But I'm gonna take it to more of a positive direction. I'm with you guys. I don't really understand the move, but let's just take it a little bit into a different perspective. All right. I think you're looking at it for the Knicks as you're getting rid of your top salaries. You're getting rid of Tim Hardaway. You're getting rid of Courtney Lees. Huge dollars. Huge. You're freeing yourselves up in that.
I'll give them
if
that.
you're a free agent, you're not coming there by yourself, as shown. You have Dennis Smith and then fill in the blank on the free agent. Kevin Knox, if you think Kevin Knox is going to be interesting in the league. I question
Frank
Ntilikina. No, I'm with you. Dennis Smith, who they could have picked. Let me report that out. Who they could have picked over Frank Ntilikina and did not. Unbelievable. James Dolan is showing all over that franchise. I don't understand. I just don't understand it, man. I think they did gain some ability to free themselves up and offer 2 spots, because I think if you're the Knicks, you have to sit there and realize that the star's not just going to want to come to that team that's already built. You're going to have to go get some talent with him. The 2 max spots are going to help. But I mean, let's talk about the team who won this deal, in my opinion. It's not even close.
Yeah,
the Mavs. The Mavs. They land with Porzingis.
Yeah.
Now I'm interested to see what the whole situation is with him in New York. If it was just more of a I'm sick and tired of losing, or I just don't believe the future and I can't trust these guys, which I can't blame them. But then I think you even look at what Tim Hardaway and Courtney Lee can bring to that team. They're not bad. They're not bad players.
They kind of sold those guys.
Yeah, they just got money.
Yeah,
a lot of money. And then Trey Burke's a nice piece as well. I really think that it was a great move for Dallas. I've been a big Porzingis guy for a long time.
Yeah,
and
he's damn good.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think his potential is there. He's so different, as shown. When Kevin Durant gives you the nickname of unicorn, that says a lot about your game. And so I personally think it'll be exciting to see what this Mavs team does in the next 10 years with Doncic, Porzingis leading the core. Then you add, and we'll get to a couple more deals Dallas made, particularly with Sacramento, that I know some of us like. So it'll be interesting to see, what Dallas does in the next 10 years.
I'm excited to see Luka and Porzingis,
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude.
They're gonna be a freaking European duo for years and years.
How about
With-
this? Maybe Dirk stays. Maybe Dirk likes what he sees, and he's like, "Oh, I might stay on one more playoff run
I don't know.
next year." I don't know.
I can see him becoming a coach too.
It
Oh,
depends. I mean, I think with the way that Dallas is set up, I think you got to look at look at the core structure, look at what they got on their team. I think with Doncic, with Porzingis, obviously you have two great talents. I think Jalen Brunson's legit. Be interesting to see what he's going to do now, given more playing time, and Kleber as well.
Yeah.
The forward for them. I think they've got some talent. That's just kind of waiting to get the chance. I think they got it now.
Yeah, they do.
And so I think the question that Dallas and particularly Mark Cuban is going to answer is, can he just let his guys do the job? He's a guy that likes to get inside the organization and know everything about it in terms of the basketball court, not front office, as shown by his suspension.
Yeah.
The ridiculousness that went on
Yeah,
there. But
yeah.
I really think that it'll be interesting. I think the West is so deep that it's hard to say that. I think they'll be a good team in the next 10 years, but where are they? Like, are we talking like a 5 seed? Are we talking a 6 seed? Are we talking, where are we talking about Dallas? If they get in the playoffs, everything stays the same. I mean, obviously, Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant and whatever's going to happen to them changes the entire landscape of the league and what our conversation is right now.
Yeah.
But I just think it's going to be interesting to see how these young guys outside of Doncic and Porzingis grow. To me, for them to get that step that they want.
Let's talk about Barnes.
Yeah.
I think that was a good move for both sides. I mean, the Mavs get out of that. They get out of that deal, which that wasn't a terrible deal.
I think he only had 1 year left, anyways.
Yeah, and he was playing pretty good.
Yeah.
Like 19 points.
Yeah, there's no shame in what he was providing.
But I like it for the Kings. I mean, just give them some more offense, a little more wing defense. I mean, it's kind of weird. Whose future is brighter, Kings or Mavs? I think I want to say Kings.
I gotta say Kings.
Yeah.
Kings and not close to me. I think you look at the Kings and you evaluate the roster they got. Yeah, Jaeger's done a tremendous job coming from the grit and grind of Memphis to playing a faster pace. He played it first year in Sacramento. They were a piece of trash.
Yeah.
He was trying to play grit and grind with the Aaron Fox. That's not gonna get you anywhere. Okay, but I do think that he's really just said to himself, look at the personnel I've got, and we're just gonna play fast and look where they're at, man. They're half a game out. Correct me if I'm wrong. Over the Clippers, I think they're right there. So it'll be interesting because I was high on Sacramento last pod. 2 weeks ago we were talking about them as the 10th seed in the West. They have jumped up. They're in a position. They got Barnes. I think it was honestly dumb for the Mavs to get rid of Barnes. Barnes is one of those players that Devin and I and you have had conversations about, Zach. Tobias Harris, Harrison Barnes, guys like that who are like fringe all-stars who just good players.
Yeah.
You fit them in the organization, they're just good. Harrison Barnes is good. He's a guy that's going to fit in any system. He's going to ball out for you. I just loved that move, man, and I'm thinking about that starting five and the potential it's got with De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, Harry Giles is a legit big man, someone I'm very high on, and Willie Cauley-Stein.
Willie Trill.
Wow, and Bogdanovich as well. You talk about a deep team, man. Would not be surprised, and I mean, I'll be the first one to say it. Kings are getting in the playoffs, baby. And that 8th seed. I think they'll find a way to make it entertaining against Golden State.
I mean, because we can talk about Tobias now. You said the Clippers are going to fall out.
Yeah.
They're going to fall out. I mean, they just traded their best player for nothing. Basically nothing. A little cap space. Well, a lot of cap space, but...
from the fair side of the Clippers, they got a lot of picks.
Oh,
yeah. They got some picks.
They open up cap space. I think they're going to do a hard run for, either Kawhi or KD this summer.
Yeah.
Especially AD, too. I think the Clippers... I think the deal made sense for both sides, really.
When I looked at that deal, at first I was like, 76-1, not even close. Not even close.
Yeah.
I like Harris. I really like Harris. I think Marjanovic what a pickup for them.
He's
If you've watched the Sixers,
he's pretty good.
They've lacked, a guy. Not saying Embiid isn't, but they need something else to protect the rim as well, and be able to give him some breaks and let him be good in some minutes and not play him the whole game. And Marjanovic can definitely let you do that. And I really like Mike Scott. I know it's a guy that can shoot the ball a ton. I get it. He has the confidence, and he's like Lance Stevenson, right? He just shoots the ball all the time, doesn't care. But I really think that's a good move for them because their second unit, if you look at their second unit, there isn't a guy that's like the spontaneous 15 points, spontaneous 18 points. Mike Scott gives you that. He gives you spontaneous 15 points, 18 points. That could get you like a win against one of these top teams that we've been talking about. I thought that move was terrific. Yeah. And but again, if you look at it from the Clippers' perspective, they gained some draft picks, man, for a guy that personally, in my opinion, was not going to stay with the Clippers. No. They got Landry Shamet, great shooter. Oh, yeah. Really good young guard.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how the Clippers fit that in with Bradley moving to Memphis in a trade.
Yeah.
I think that'll be really interesting to see what Shamet will do and how the Sixers are evaluating themselves and how the Clippers are evaluating themselves. Because, if I'm the Clippers, I like talent. I'm just needing a star. Okay. That's the only thing I'm looking for. And of course, we've got plenty of those this offseason.
Yeah, if Kawhi doesn't re-sign in Toronto, which, if, the Raptors get to the finals or something and he doesn't re-sign, he's insane. But if he does leave, he's going to the Clippers, I think. Because I don't think he's going to the Lakers.
No.
I don't think he wants to play with LeBron. To be honest, I don't know what he wants because he never says anything.
Well, the Clippers are creeping on him. There's, pictures and stuff, like Lawrence Frank is, at his games, just sitting behind the bench, like, hey, Kawhi Leonard. I just questioned, and I questioned what's going on over there in L.A., but they are obviously looking to get him. And I would argue, he's one of the 5 players I want leading my franchise. So I think it'll be interesting to see what the Clippers do. I personally think he's going to go to Toronto and he's going to go back, but I'm with you. It's Clippers or the Raptors.
Yeah.
But either way, they freed up cap space to give themselves the opportunity to do that. And man, the Sixers starting 5. Let's just best in the East. Best in the East.
Close. I don't think so.
You got the worst player in their starting 5 is J.J. Redick right now.
Right.
So you got Ben Simmons, all-star point guard. You have J.J. Redick. You have Jimmy Butler. You have Tobias Harris, and now you got Embiid. I think that's the best 5 in the East, in my opinion. It'll be interesting to see how they develop. But if you just look at talent, it's there.
Yeah,
I think it's head and shoulders.
I think I'd put them tied with Toronto because Toronto just got Gasol.
New Toronto.
So you think that you think that move? So going into the Raptors,
we're just talking starting 5.
Okay. Yeah, just talking starting 5. Yeah, I think it's because I think the depth of Toronto is probably a little bit better. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I really like the 5 they got going there right now, and they beat Denver the other night, that's a big time win.
Yeah, it is.
And so I don't know, man. I was high on Philly last pod. I still am. Don't be sleeping on the Sixers, man. Don't be doing it. I think they're a good team.
I just want to give a shout out to the Clippers for sending Bobby and Toby together.
Yeah. Keep the brothers together. Yeah, Boban's good. He gets, he looks like an alien, and people make fun of him a lot. But he can
good.
play. He can play. I would take him on the Pacers. That's how much I like him. That's how I measure players. If I would want them on the Pacers, that's how much I like them.
Yeah.
Talk Markelle to the Magic. Since we're on the Sixers, I don't blame them for giving up on this. It's been a disaster, pretty much from the get-go. They should have drafted Tatum. They could have drafted literally anyone else.
Donovan Mitchell
would have been better.
Larry Markkinen. Darren Fox. List goes on.
They
chose not to. I personally was like, when looking at that deal, I agree. I can't blame Philly. But then you look at what the opportunity is for Orlando. I think he has, if he comes in to be something decent. Orlando really hasn't had that point guard. DJ Augustine's their starting point guard for crying out loud. So I think Fultz is an upgrade if he's just anywhere remotely healthy. And I think that'll be interesting to see. But man, I really liked the return for Philly. I really think Jonathan Simmons is legit.
Yeah, he's good.
I mean, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's a good defender. He's a guy that an underrated part in the storyline here. Greg Popovich, Brett Brown assistant under Greg Popovich. So he's got some familiarity with Simmons.
Yeah.
Not to mention they get a first-round pick as well in the second rounder. I really like that deal for Philly. I think Simmons is legit. He's got that Philly toughness and Philly mindset.
Yeah.
And I've been high. I really like the kid. And I think he's going to be better on a contending team. His game and his play, I think when you're winning, that's the type of style you need. So I really liked this deal a lot more for Philly than I did Orlando.
I mean, the way I see it from an Orlando standpoint is, why not? It's low risk, high reward. Sure. I mean, you only gave away Jonathan Simmons, really, in like a second or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could ultimately, if Markelle could find what he used to have, which doesn't look very prosperous, but if he does, this could be like one of the biggest steals of forever.
Yeah, I mean, he can't shoot. We know that. We know that much. We don't know much about Markelle, but we know he can't shoot. He's a damn good driver, I mean, he was so good in college, and nobody blamed them at the time for picking him. I didn't blame him. I thought it was a good pick, but he just, I mean, best case scenario, he's like your starting point guard for the future. Worst case scenario, I think the worst case scenario is he never plays a game for them. He never plays a game. He never suits up.
Yeah. No, I looking at what Orlando's core could possibly be down the road.
Yeah.
Okay, so just give me the 5 potential. Just think of it as what we think these guys can be, and I'm high on a lot of these guys, so I'd like to point that out. You have Markelle Fultz. Damn. You have Vooch.
Yeah.
You have Aaron Gordon. Very nice piece in Aaron Gordon. Let me point that out. You got Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah.
You got Mo Bamba.
Yeah.
They've got some intriguing young pieces fiddling in Orlando. Steve Clifford. In my opinion, a great coach. Was able to get Charlotte to a couple playoff runs, and I think it'll be interesting to see what this does for them. Did it show? I mean, with the East being so open, I was surprised that they were even trying to buy into a guy like Fultz. But then part of me is also like, maybe they're not trying to get to that playoff spot now and get a couple games at the Amway Center. I thought, looking into just the way the East was set up, I thought Orlando was intriguing to get in. Based on the roster construction, I'm wondering what Orlando is going to do in the buyout market. I wonder if they are going to consider giving somebody in the buyout market their money. Wayne Ellington went to the Pistons. Wes Matthews went to the Pacers. These guys are looking for playing time.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, than winning. I don't like saying that about the Pacers, but I think right now it's kind of where they're at this year. But at the end of the day, I'm interested. They got a lot of pieces I like. So I'm interested to see how Clifford and in front office and management can figure out a way to get these guys to play with each other. Because I think if the talent comes to play and comes into fruition, we're talking about Orlando making the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a solid chance they'll make it anyway. But, they'd be like bottom,
Sure.
8 or
Sure.
7 or 8. But,
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I like it for the Sixers, definitely. For the Magic, I don't know. It's just way too early to tell.
Yeah.
With the Sixers, I also want to add, they, with Jonathan Simmons too, they added so much depth in this deadline. They already had Ben Simmons and T.J. McConnell.
Well, I think the Sixers won the deadline.
Yeah.
They definitely won.
J.J. Redick, Jonathan Simmons. They got James Ennis.
Yep.
So they have Jimmy Butler and James Ennis, Tobias Harris and Mike Scott, and then you got Joel and Boban.
Yeah,
I don't see how that is.
Well done.
They won the deadline.
Yeah,
they had to have known they didn't have a bench. They had to have known.
They did,
and they did something about
it.
They
did. A great job by Elton Brand, man.
Elton Brand.
Heck of a work right there by Brand. he's really sitting there and saying, I've got a chance with these youngsters, and I want to capitalize. And from what I understand, the Woj bomb indicated that the Philadelphia 76ers want to keep these 4 guys in the long term. So if that's the case, I mean, you talk about a core. I mean, that's a core with Simmons, Butler, Embiid, and Harris. That's a great core of guys. So I'm with you. I think Philly really won this deal. They won the deadline, and let's just see what happens, because I think Orlando could, depending on what Fultz is. It's such a tricky situation, but I really like the Sixers in this deadline.
I think they won. I still don't know. I don't think they're going to get to the finals. I still like the Raptors to get there, or the Celtics. More so the Raptors, but I don't know. I didn't think they'd make the conference finals before this, but now I think they definitely could. They definitely could.
Yeah. I mean, back to Elton Brand. I mean, I give him credit for taking a shot now. Like, why not do it now before all these? I mean, you're gonna have to pay all these players,
right?
And you're not gonna afford them all.
Yeah.
So you might as well take a shot now, and I guess at the expense of your future.
Yeah, I mean, I like it when guys just say, "Screw it, let's win now. Let's not wait," because it's easy to say like, "Well, they'll be back, and just do something about it now." Yeah. You got these guys now, because I feel like Ben Simmons. He's going to move on at some point. I don't know about Embiid, but I think Simmons will move on at some point. But, yeah, I still think the Raptors or the Celtics in the finals. Maybe we can talk about the Bucks too. Bucks got Mirotic for nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like bag of chips. Nothing.
What a deal.
Yeah.
What a deal. Yeah. I mean, you talk about what Mirotic is going to bring to them. He fits exactly into what they want. Yeah. Exactly what they want from their big men.
Space the floor.
Space it.
Shoot the threes.
Oh, gosh. Love the pickup. I mean, I think it's just about as simple as that. I love the pickup. Great move for the Bucks. Their depth has been there all season. Yeah, it's been there all season. And they didn't even jack with the depth. Yeah. They traded Stanley Johnson and Jason Smith as well. But Mirotic, are you crazy, New Orleans? You think Stanley Johnson's going to be this top 10 recruit that he once was out of high school? I mean, I liked Stanley Johnson, but New Orleans, you can't bet on this. It's, to me, them and the Knicks are the 2 worst franchises in the NBA, and once again it's showing. Their fans are booing Anthony Davis last night. They're booing him. A top 5 player, a player that everyone would beg to have leading their franchise. They don't deserve Davis. They don't deserve success as far as I'm concerned. I was, what a move. What a move by the Bucks. Didn't really hurt them. Even if it doesn't work, they still got all these pieces anyway. So, man, don't sleep on the Bucks. What a move. What a move.
Yeah, a hell of a move. I mean, same thing with, they're kind of in the same boat as the Sixers to me. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the Final Four, but like, I don't know if they get to the finals. I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet on it. But I like Mirotic for them. Really like that. Really like that.
Him and Budenholzer are like a match made from heaven right there. That is like...
Yeah, really are.
But let me ask you this. Bucks, number 1 record in the NBA right now. Yeah. That's not a joke. We've played over 56 games. I mean, I've been high on Philly and Milwaukee, making this a lot more interesting than we think. That definitely helped. The deadline definitely held my clauses in that. And I think it's going to be interesting to see, okay, what does, Philly and Milwaukee do? How are they going to put the pieces together? And, they got rid of the Bucks. I think a light trade that should be noted. Thon Maker also getting dealt. And I think that was a move that they needed to make to figure out the playing time and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that, those minutes combined, and then what Mirotic is going to bring, as a very nice off the bench piece, allowed them to be able to get a guy like that. So credit the Bucks. I feel like they made the little move with Maker. And then to get him out. And then the executives didn't sign off on the deal. It was in principle, basically. It was agreed upon, but not signed to the league office. So the Pelicans are like, the Pelicans and the Sixers and then the Bucks, or the Sixers, sorry. I mean, they make that move, and wow, unbelievable. Unbelievable move.
Here's the biggest test for the Bucks, though. can you see them beating Golden State?
Yeah.
No, hell no. I mean, nobody's gonna. I mean, let's just quit dancing around.
Let me ask you. Like, what do you mean? Like in a series, in a best of 7, or in a game? I'm taking him in a long series with Golden State. I will take that. I will take that.
Bucks?
I'll take the Warriors. Let me point that out. But I think it's a long series.
Okay.
Like, I don't think it's a brush over. That's all I'm trying to say.
It's not like last year.
No. The Cavs were too bad.
No. I thought that's what you were going after. No, I really think it would be a competitive series. And I don't think it's too. You can't overlook. Giannis will have his games.
Yeah.
Bledsoe has been great this season. Middleton's been great this season. You can't overlook those guys. But I mean, obviously, I think all of us will sit here and say Golden State's going to win the NBA championship. But I just think I think there's a lot of teams that can make it competitive with Golden State.
Oh yeah, I think Boston, Toronto. I think they could push it to 6. I don't know about 7. That might be pushing it.
I think Toronto has the best chance of pushing it to 7.
Yeah, I think Toronto's the deepest team.
Yeah, with their pieces and Kawhi Leonard, I think Toronto has the best chance of going to 7. I think the Celtics, their chemistry is just all out of whack because there's too many good players.
Kyrie,
they need to
shut his mouth.
Oh, and that too, but there's just too many good. How many times can you say that about a team? That there's too many good players.
Not a lot.
Exactly, and that's the issue. Is they really need to get rid of some of their best players, or not best, but better players to get role players.
Even then, I think as we were kind of leaning our discussion towards Toronto a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what? Gasol pushes the needle for you guys in that.
Yeah.
They did get rid of Valanciunas. They Darrell Wright, a nice guard. They got rid of Wright, but they got VanVleet just coming through the system. They'll just give you more minutes. But you think that deal pushes them into the needle? I know, Zach, you were high on Boston last pod. What? Gasol pushes the needle for you.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their starting 5 when they don't go small, when they have traditional center. Gasol's better than any of the guys they had. Better than Valanciunas. So now you can roll out Lowry, Kawhi, Danny Green, Ibaka/Siakam, and Gasol. Like, that's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Plus VanVleet.
OG.
Plus OG.
Oh.
I mean, Norman Powell's not bad.
No. Nice compliment.
Good too.
Player, yeah.
I mean, I like it. Love it.
Yeah. And they still got Pirtle too, right? Or no?
They dealt him in the deal with
Kawhi trade.
The Kawhi trade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. But anyways, Lowry. Yeah, no, I that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Toronto can go tit for tat with, the Warriors. I mean, Lowry, obviously he's not Steph, but he plays good defense. He can play. He can play defense on Steph.
Have they played each other yet?
I don't know. Have they?
I feel like they have.
I feel like that would definitely be a TNT game.
Yeah, that would definitely be a TNT
game. Hopefully not ESPN, but yeah, that would definitely be like a TNT game.
They did. But let me point this out to you. The Raptors won both games.
They played twice?
So they played twice already. Raptors winning by 3 at home. On the road, they win 113-93 before the moves into the deadline.
Was that when Steph was out, though?
Could have been. But, I mean, either way, you're talking about a team like we talked about that's toe for toe with these guys. The depth is there. I understand the bullcrap criticisms of Kyle Lowry. Right. I get it. I get it. But part of me is like, this player is good. We're talking about an all-star level guard.
Yeah, he's an all-star.
He's an all-star guard, and as far as I'm concerned, if he came to Indiana, I'm not crying. No. So you're talking about Kyle. I mean, he's a good player. Kyle Lowry's a very nice player, and he's very good defensively. I'm with Devin on that. And I think that, with how they match up there, I think that's good. I just think overall, man, they can throw bodies at KD. Yeah, they can throw a stocky and Norman Powell, and you flip some length, and you get some OG. And you can flip Indiana, I was about to say, and then you got Siakam. Yeah. And they can switch very well in those lineups without Gasol. But then when you have Boogie in the game, all right, that's all. They get over.
Gasol.
Do your thing, man. In limited minutes, I mean, he's not going to play. Right. Probably, I don't, at least I would assume he will not play as much as he did in Memphis. But I think that
he'll play under 25 minutes for sure.
But in under 25 minutes, I'm getting a good Marc Gasol.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he does have miles on his body. Let me point that out. But I mean, he's still a terrific. He's still got some game, man. I think that is a great move for Toronto. Very low risk. And, I mean, if you're Memphis, I mean, why in the heck would you do that trade? I mean, Valanciunas is a guy that's just constantly hurt here, boys. And then we got Darrell Wright, who I think is interesting, but you didn't trade the domino that, with Gasol. I thought Conley, something was going to happen. Whether Indiana was going to do it, I just thought somebody was going to make that offer. So now you got Conley in there when you could be playing this nice young guard and Darrell Wright and start getting your young core back together. I mean, what are you doing, Memphis? You didn't even get a first-round pick. I mean, what's going on with the Memphis Grizzlies and their front office? Chandler Parsons' ridiculous contract. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, I could go on a rant with Memphis as far as I'm concerned, but I questioned the Memphis front office. I was like, when I saw the Wojbomb of Gasol, I was like, wow, okay. I mean, I'm assuming Valanciunas. I'm assuming, Lowry could be in play. I mean, I was assuming all that stuff. And all I see is Valanciunas, Darrell Wright, a couple of seconds, and a 2024 second-round draft pick. What do we have going here in Memphis?
That's going to be a hell of a year, 2024.
Gosh, what are we thinking? I mean, they got Jared Jackson. They got something. But I just questioned, I mean, what the heck are you doing down there in Memphis?
I will say for them, they did right by Gasol. Trade him to a contender.
Sure.
Yeah.
They didn't trade him to some BS team. Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. So they did right by him. I mean, he's probably their best player in their franchise history.
Sure.
Very well might be. So yeah, they did right by him. So
that's true.
Talk about John Wall slipping and falling at his house. I mean, he was untradeable before this. With his contract alone. And now you're not trading him. Hey, John Wall, torn Achilles, $200 million. Yeah, take him. You want him? No. We talked about it a little bit. I'm not a big John Wall guy. I was 5 years ago. I thought 5 years ago when he was playing the Pacers in the playoffs, I was like, damn, this guy, he's going to be good. No. I mean, he's good, but...
Well, he's going to college now. So, I mean, that's I mean, there you go. I mean, the ruptured Achilles has allowed a Kentucky player to do that. But look, I think, Washington.
He's not top 10 for me.
No.
He's not a top 10 point guard.
I can get that.
Not anymore.
Yeah. I can get that. You look at the Wizards and, I kind of liked what they did. In a way. You get rid of Otto Porter's big contract.
Oh, yeah, Otto.
Yeah.
That was big for them.
Yeah.
That was something they needed to do. I've been begging for it for years, watching this Wizards team get that contract off the books. They got Bobby Portis, a nice big man who was not getting the PT in Chicago because of Markkanen and Carter. And then I think I'm intrigued. I've never been huge on Jabari. Let me point this out. But I'm intrigued. What is Washington looking to do with him? I think there's some optimism in Washington about what that piece could be for them and what Bobby could be for them as they got rid of Markieff Morris as well. So I think Washington was interesting for me. And how they handled it, and John Wall, that whole situation, obviously sucks. When you have players of his caliber, we can sit here and debate whether he's a top 10 point guard or whether he's not, but we all can sit here and say he's a great player.
Yeah, he's good.
And so I think that, when you can lose a guy like that, that's obviously hard for the league, and it's hard for a team like Washington. And, and what Brad Beal's been doing is sensational.
Yeah.
So not being able to have Wall with him is obviously hurting them. But, I think there is a way of optimism for this team. Tyler Satoransky, their backup point guard, has been decent for them. It'll be interesting to see what that could do for him. He's a young guy who could be eligible for that extension. And depending on how Washington sees fit there, is he a piece they want to keep moving on and keep building with? And, they've still got some bad contracts on the books. Former Pacers Jan Mahimi's getting $16 million as far as I'm concerned. That's just terrible. So, as far as I'm concerned, they still got some bad contracts, but they did get rid of a huge one that they needed to get out of in Otto Porter.
Yeah.
And then if I'm seeing it from Chicago's perspective,
that's pretty good.
Chicago, what are you doing? Levine, You get big money too. Otto Porter, you get big money too. Where's your you got to get a star in there.
I mean,
do you think Marketing and Carter could be number one players? I mean, I like them. I've been big on them, especially coming into the draft. I was huge on both. And I think they've got a nice front court there, especially in the modern NBA.
Oh, yeah.
But I liked Chris Dunn. I think the injuries has really sucked it up for him. But I think, there's a lot of money going into Zach LaVine and Otto Porter. Chicago. What's going on? I think that deal was better for Washington, in my opinion, to get rid of the salary. But, man, it just sucks to see what happened to them. But hopefully it'll get figured out.
I mean, I know some Bulls fans, they're not happy with this. They're pissed off about this. They love Bobby Portis. He's like their, I don't know. They're not the same player, but he's like their Lance, Like, this guy just comes in. He just doesn't give a damn. He just comes in and plays.
Yeah.
And it really sucks. It sucked to lose Lance. It probably sucks to lose Portis, but yeah, I'm with you. Like, Bulls, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I mean, you're not a train wreck yet, but you're pretty close.
Did they get first?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I don't know.
They got a first. I could see it, but no draft picks.
Yeah.
Chicago.
I mean, they don't have a coach. The best case scenario with Laurie is like he's some form of Dirk. Some form of Dirk. Not Dirk, but some form of that. And I like Wendell. I like Wendell Carter.
Yeah.
I like LaVine. I don't like his defense because he doesn't play defense. They got rid of Jabari, which is good. But, yeah, I mean, if you're doing business with the Wizards, you've hit a low point. You've hit a really low point.
Well, I don't know. You guys are really dogging on the poor Bulls, man. I mean, no, I don't.
Hey, man, I picked them to make the playoffs before the season.
I thought they would be interesting. I'm with Zach. I thought they'd have something.
Dumb I am.
You're right. But, I mean, getting Otto Porter kind of makes up for LaVine's inconsistency on defense. They still don't really have. I mean, they don't really have a bench. They don't really have. They don't have a lot. They have Markkanen. I do think Markkanen is gonna be like an all-star level player at some point.
I agree.
Wendell Carter is just your jack of all trades.
Right.
He's like Al Horford kind of, He's not there.
Solid
He's
comp.
not there yet.
No, a solid comp.
But, I mean, with Otto Porter, who knows? This might be something good for him. I mean, it kind of opens up.
I mean, he was good the past 2 years.
Yeah.
This year he's just been like,
He's a great defensive player. I mean, that's what he's really for. But at the same point, he can score. I mean, it's kind of similar to the situation like a few years back when Trevor Ariza, when he was on the Wizards. Kind of think about that. He had 1 year, he averaged, I don't know, like 15 points, or not even that. But, I mean, they got rid of him, and he flourished on the Rockets. Yeah. And he really revitalized his career. I mean, this could happen for Otto Porter. Otto Porter's still young. And he could make up. I mean, he might one day. I could see him averaging, up to like 17 a game, something like that, and give you still good consistency on defense. And then with Chris Dunn, I mean, he's older than most young people right now. He's a great defensive player.
Yeah, he is.
His scoring. I mean, what we saw at Providence is a lot different than what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
But I will give him it. I do think he does have a future, but other than that, yeah.
All right, so, I mean, I'm just going to keep defending, Zach and I are just going to keep defending this bull scrap. Otto Porter, this man, Devin, $27 million.
He's not worth the money.
$27 million.
What year is it?
Dude, right now he's getting $26 million. Next year he's getting the 27, and then you can bet he's going to accept the player option of $28 million. So I question, I just, wow, the Wizards getting out of that is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Right, yeah.
And if you're Chicago, I'm with Zach. This is a good young core, and your Gar and Paxson are blowing this thing up. And I'm sitting here. I like Chicago. I'm around, a lot of people who enjoy the Bulls, and Carter and Markkanen and Dunn, they're good. And you're blowing it when you're paying Otto Porter $28 million. I think it's ridiculous. I think they have some pieces. Correct me if I'm wrong, if Blakeney's still in the league, I like his game.
Yeah.
I think he's a
Blake,
very nice player, and he can allow you to be able to do some different things. And they've got some talent that's still trying to work itself out. I mean, they're going to be somebody to keep an eye on with the buyout market because of Lopez and what they're going to do there. My assumption would be buy him out and just keep letting these young guys play. But, I think, it'll be interesting. They've really hit or miss in the draft. Let's just start with Denzel Valentine, please. They've really hit and miss with Denzel Valentine. Yeah. I mean, I think, I looked at that pick and I was like, wow, the Bulls, that's a typical Bulls pick. They're looking for that Luol Deng, and they didn't get it. So I think it'll be interesting. I'm with you, Devin. There is a new spot for Porter. He's still young in his career, but part of me is also like, man, the contract, the optimism of Chicago.
But for Washington, at least at the time, you got to look at it as Washington doesn't get these type of players. Was he a max contract player? No. But what other option did they have? Because at that time they were a playoff team. They're 4th seed, something like that. Yeah. And he was producing pretty well, but you're not gonna let him run off to a different team. At least at that time.
I would have. I mean, Brooklyn was offering him that contract. So obviously you had idiots signing him to the deal at that time, and you could have gotten away with it. You could have gotten away without signing Porter. And let me just throw this out there. There's a guy that was from Washington, D.C., a guy named Kevin Durant. You could have been able to decline that and given yourself an opportunity. But, you said you wanted Otto Porter for $30 million. So the Wizards, I'm with you, Devin, at that point. It would have been hard, I think, for them. But they had the future and the optimism. You and I talked about Wall and Beal. Yeah. They were very good 4 or 5 years ago. And I think they still have the potential to be really good. But
Beal's still good.
They missed a moment. They missed a moment. They had a nice core.
Well, you remember Ball. 2 years ago, they pushed the Celtics to 7 to get to the
sure.
Yeah,
sure.
That was their chance, pretty much.
But then going back, and Paul Pierce, man. Now let me ask you this. He was in Washington, but he was big for them.
Yeah,
he was big for them.
One of the series, if I'm not mistaken.
They really could have used. They lacked when Pierce left. They lacked somebody who could.
Yeah. Make those shots.
Take over. Because I think Wall and Beal could do something in the fourth quarter. It was just, I think they needed something. They needed a guy who could be in there and just get the respect of everybody.
Yeah.
At that time, Wall and Beal are looking up to Marcin Gortat. And that just begs you to question.
Well, Wall hated that guy.
Why would the Wizards not go after something? I think it's a deal that I was like, it two sad situations. I was very optimistic about Chicago before this deal. But I don't know, man. It was an interesting deal. I would argue it probably needed to be made for both teams. I think the Bulls probably could use it, because you're right, Devin. He's still young, and if he's still got game, we are talking about a nice 5. If we can see if Otto Porter can do something to make it look somewhat reasonable to pay him $27 million. So you have Chris Dunn and you have Levine, which I agree the defensive flaws are there and the inconsistency is there, but we've not really seen Dunn and Levine healthy together.
Right.
So, and then I would even argue we haven't really seen much of Markkanen and Carter healthy together because Carter's been dealing with injury. Markkanen was dealing with injury. And then, when one of them was out with Laurie being out, Carter was a beast. And then, when Markkanen came back, Carter became like crap, and your coach decided that he has to sit and learn when he's your second best player on the team, you just got to sit there and you got to say, fire your executives, fire your coaches. I mean, for crying out loud, Chicago, you're blowing an opportunity to be pretty good in most sports with the Cubs and with the Bears. Yeah. And now you're looking at a devastating Chicago Bulls franchise run by about piss-poor owners. I'm just done with Chicago.
I mean, look, Hoiberg needed to go. That guy needed to go 2 years ago.
Piece of trash.
But
yeah, Boylan was not the
Jim Boylan.
He was not the right choice.
Jim Boylan, like,
You could have picked. Oh god.
But I think he was a in-season. It was an in-season situation. Let me point that out.
Yeah.
They can easily sit there and say, "All right, let's evaluate." Okay, and if I'm a coaching candidate, there's some interest. There's some optimism. Compared to some jobs out in the league, there's some optimism in Chicago. I mean, you and I have talked about the lack of depth in that 6 through 8.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the right coach could put Chicago in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, what's Frank Vogel doing? He's better than Jim Boylan.
I like that fit too, by the way.
He's better than Jim Boylan.
Yeah.
Who else is out there? He just came to mind.
Gundy's always a hot name for the coaching candidates.
Yeah.
Kevin McHale.
Oh,
Kevin
God.
McHale.
I don't want to see that old man.
Oh,
get
come
in
on.
there.
But all these people are still better than Jim Boylan.
I'm with you. But I just don't want to see McHale back in the coaching.
J. Kidd?
Coaching
Jason
stage.
Kidd?
Jason Kidd, he would even be better, man.
Yeah, he would. I do think it'll be interesting to see where Chicago goes. I mean, they should be firing their executives. They should be going top to bottom and just kicking the crap out. And looking at that roster and looking at that franchise and seeing they're gonna blow it because it's like Philly. We've talked in a lower scale, obviously.
Yeah.
But they've got these young players. Brand's saying, okay, let's go now.
Yeah.
Let's do something. And we still have some draft stuff. Brand with the Fultz deal got draft capital back. I mean, the Bulls, you get Porter and you have all this money now in this. So then when it comes into how you're going to handle Chris Dunn, if we can see him healthy, how if Blakeney, what that situation's like, how they're going to evaluate the point guards. You probably won't be able to keep both if both are playing at a decent rate. So I don't know, man. I really, the deal bummed me out because I was like you, Zach. I was very optimistic about Chicago, and it went downhill early, and Jim Boylan doesn't help your cause.
Let's talk about. I went on my Knicks rant earlier, but we can talk about Kyrie and KD this summer. I know it's pretty early to talk about that, but KD, to me, look, I'll say there's a chance he goes to the Knicks. Okay, there's a chance, and honestly, if he does, I wouldn't care. I don't want him to go back to the Warriors. That's as simple as that. Simple as that. I want that shit broken up
into million pieces.
Like Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphries. I want that shit broken up. But I think he goes to the Clips. Like, if he doesn't go back to Golden State.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go to the Clippers. Or don't sleep on OKC, man. Don't sleep on OKC. I know they don't have a lot of cap space, but if I was OKC and KD's like, "Hey, I want to come back. Make some space." And I'd be like, "Paul George, you're gone. We're trading you. KD's coming back."
I think the Knicks thing's real. And to be honest
it's
with
real.
you,
I just think it'd be dumb as hell.
I think it'd be dumb. But you're sitting here and you're looking at the conference.
Yeah.
Now the reason I want to see Durant in the East, if the Knicks are the team that's going to do it, the balance, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Finally.
What a shift.
Yeah.
I mean, then you're probably talking a very solid Knicks team with Durant, with the top pick, and they'd probably go get somebody else. You Kevin Durant for crying out loud. They'll get another piece in there. Even Kemba Walker or something would be pretty nice down there in New York. But then I sit there and I say, if Durant goes to the East, I don't believe any bit of the Kyrie situation in Boston. He's going. He's coming back. I am firm on that coming back to Boston. Why leave?
I think he's
Why
going back to Cleveland, I think.
Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
I don't believe in LA. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't think.
Oh, Lakers.
I don't believe in the Lakers.
No.
I don't believe in the Lakers. I really don't believe in the Clippers. I just don't think. I think realistically, Kyrie is staying in the East, and I just don't see how he gets out of Boston not wanting to go back. Now, I think say if they were out early, first round, probably not gonna happen. Out first round. Okay, but but right now, looking at what that team can be. I really don't see him leaving. And I think, now with the Davis thing,
right,
and how, the Lakers weren't able to close it out.
Yeah.
Here comes Boston getting in there. As far as I'm concerned, when you have Kyrie and Anthony Davis, I don't give a rip who you got on the floor. Let me point that out. You face the Warriors now, and I got Kyrie and Anthony Davis with Boston score. Oh, I'm taking my chances with Boston. I mean, that's a fantastic team, and so I think I don't believe any bit of the idea. I think it's interesting what Davis's father said about loyalty, but then I think also I think it has to show that when you look. I mean, I think it's respectable. But you can't tell me that if you could get Kyrie Irving, you wouldn't have done that. I mean, I'm just saying. Like I said, Thomas, I liked him in Boston, but Kyrie Irving's 5 times better than him. He's so much better than him. And you gave up, assets that needed to go, I would argue. Jay Crowder needed to go.
They traded Isaiah at exactly the right time.
Exactly.
Because they couldn't have traded him like last summer.
Oh, yeah, no. And Crowder was taking away the potential of Smart and the potential of Brown and the potential of some youngsters really stepping up in their games. He was taking that away.
Yeah.
So now you have Irving, and you have this young core going. I really think Boston is where he's going. I really don't believe. I like Danny Ainge, man, top executive in the league.
Yeah.
He's got something up the sleeve. He's wanted Anthony Davis for as long as I can remember. It's happening. I think it's gonna happen, and so I think Kyrie's gonna stay because of it.
In terms of GMs, it's like Danny Ainge, Daryl Morey. And I guess you have to put Bob Myers in. I mean, Bob Myers is just sitting back like this, like watching, not doing anything.
You're forgetting about Sam Presti.
And Sam Presti, too.
Sam Presti, but another executive.
And Buford.
Yes, and to keep in mind on another executive, I mean, Jerry West for the Clippers.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Wow. I mean, what he got for Harris, the package he got for Harris, to get the draft, the first rounders.
Yeah.
He was able to lock in. And what he's done in many organizations, Golden State included.
Sure.
I think Jerry's in that conversation as well.
There's too many good GMs. Masai.
Yeah. Oh, Masai,
Yeah, I think he's good. I think his career, though, is on the line now, though. I'd argue. I mean, right now.
He went all in last summer.
Yep, he did.
Yeah,
so, I mean, he said my job's on the line. No, not even a doubt in my mind. He said the job's on the line. I mean, he trades Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he's still got some young pieces. So, I mean,
so far he looks like a genius.
But, yeah, he looks like a genius.
So
I mean, he traded Valanciunas,
Yeah.
Darrell Wright, and a 2024 second-round draft pick for Marc Gasol. I mean, unbelievable. But then, you go back to the Knicks. James Dolan is your executive. The Knicks?
Oh,
Dolan?
God, don't even
Durant? What's the deal with Dolan? Are you kidding me?
Well,
are you kidding me?
If the Knicks, the Knicks don't have the worst record. Who has the worst record? Do you know? Is it the Cavs? It's the Knicks?
I believe it's the Knicks.
Last time I checked, the Knicks won 10 games, which is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good for the Knicks.
I know. Knicks Cavs are at the bottom.
Knicks with the 10-44 record.
Jeez,
worst record in the league.
I checked that like 2 weeks ago. They still have 10 wins? Man. Say the NBA polls like what they did with Patrick Ewing and give the Knicks the first pick, and they pick Zion. If they didn't pick Zion, that's just classic Knicks. They're like, yeah, we'll pick Cam Reddish first. Okay, fine. Cavs will get Zion second.
Oh, dear.
But
I don't want to see that.
Knicks, look, whoever gets the first pick Zion. Don't think about it. Just pick him. And then, like, if they pick Zion, then I'll believe KD's coming. Then I'll believe that. But
well, let me take you a look at the Knicks right now in the last 15. You want to know what the last 15 is?
Last 15 games?
Straight L's. Haven't won a game in the last 15.
Yeah.
Lost 10 in a row. Knicks are a total disaster. So you've looked 2 weeks, and in the last 2 weeks, they haven't won a game. So you gotta think about that as well. But yeah, I agree. With Zion, and if that pick, I think New York's making that pick. I don't think they're gonna screw that up. That's just handed to them on a silver platter. But I mean,
if anybody could screw it up,
but it is the draft lottery, so it doesn't guarantee that New York gets that number 1 pick. And
Yep.
and even then, I still think if you get inside the top 5, which I believe they would, if I'm not mistaken, if
Be
they have the number 1
shocked,
pick,
I
like I
think.
think probabilities lead to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you get what? You get an RJ Barrett, or you get a Cam Reddish.
Yeah, you're still
or
gonna get it.
You're still gonna get a very,
The guy
very
from Tennessee.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get some, Grant Williams and Schofield. You could get somebody like that. Potential Romeo Langford. You could get. I think the Knicks have a interesting. They're gonna get a nice pick.
Yeah.
They get number 1. Obviously, they should go with Zion, but
Yeah.
I think they've got the nice piece, and I think I think KD's gonna be intrigued with whoever that piece is in the top 5. They're not gonna. I don't think they can screw that up. Okay, based off potential of these guys, but I wonder. I really wonder what his mindset is right now. I think Kevin Durant just wants to ball, and to be honest with you, I don't understand why he wouldn't stay with Golden State. But if he chooses to leave,
Right.
the Knicks are the number 1 option for him to me, and I can't explain it. Because logically, it just doesn't make any sense. But if you're just going through the mind of Durant and the idea of it, I mean, there's a lot of, it makes sense. You want to be relevant. You want to take on that challenge of bringing New York back. New York back. Because like we've talked about,
Yeah.
Ewing, Porzingis, they're great talents over the
Yeah.
last 20 years.
Yeah.
Then you can go to Allen Houston or Stephon Marbury if you want. But I think
Latrell.
yeah, sure. I mean, you just look at the Knicks, and I think I'm curious. I'm curious when talking about the Knicks. Where are you guys on Knox? Is Knox a player that you think, okay, there's some potential to be a nice piece? Do you think Knox is a guy that is just very raw? What's your take on Knox? Because I think that also would supplement. If Kevin Durant thinks Knox is legit, then I think that would help
Yeah.
the Knicks. But I'd like to hear your take on Knox.
I mean, I haven't seen him play that much, to be honest, but I've seen some highlights on YouTube and stuff. He's pretty good. He might be their best player right now. He honestly might be. Him or DSJ, their best player.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't think he's nearly enough for KD to say, "Oh, Kevin Knox, yeah, I'm coming."
Fair.
Yeah.
I think they would have for KD to come. I think they would have to get the number 1 pick. They would have to get Zion, and I'm with you. I don't think Kyrie's going there. AD's definitely not going there. The Knicks don't have assets to trade for him. He would have to wait until next year to go there. But
You might want to reconsider that because the Pelicans pull some really dumb trades. Not for real though.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about Knox?
Knox?
Yeah.
I mean, from when he played in the tournament last year, at tournament time, he played pretty well. He hadn't played that well all season with Kentucky. You can go back to summer league. He was pretty all right, and this season, I haven't seen a whole bunch of him, but I know he's there. I wouldn't say consistent. No rookie's consistent, but I think he's a piece for the future. I think he'll provide. I don't think he's gonna be your top scorer or anything like that, but I think he'll eventually turn into a nice little scoring piece.
You want to hit on AD real quick?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, part of me is like, yeah, stick it to the Lakers. Don't trade him there. And then the other part of me is like, look at what they're offering you. I mean, that's probably the best deal you're going to get unless Ainge swoops in and gives you Tatum and
but
Jaylen Brown.
look at it from the Lakers standpoint, man. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if the Pelicans accepted that trade, the Lakers, they would have literally LeBron, AD, and everybody else. Like, that would be their team. And that's honestly might be enough to get you in the playoffs.
yes, but that's the issue is they are getting rid of their entire future.
Yeah.
Everything they just worked
Well, except
for.
Josh Hart. I kept Josh Hart.
Yeah, but everything they worked for the past, 6-7 years? And they're throwing it out the window.
Yeah.
Just for Anthony Davis and LeBron James, who's going to retire in, I don't know, 6 years maybe?
Probably the end of this deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, then you're the Lakers. And I want Mike Muscala so bad that I take Zubac. I take Zubac.
yeah.
What
Zubac.
trade was that?
And I get rid of Beasley and Zubac
Yeah.
for Mike Muscala. Mike Muscala moves up the needle for you. Mike Muscala The Lakers are screwing themselves over this season. That's why I like the Kings coming into that 8th spot. I think, I do believe, I thought they should have, done everything they could have to get Anthony Davis. I firmly believe that. Yeah. I think they should have flipped their future. I think they should have done it. Ball's not making an All-Star game.
No.
He's not. No. Not unless his daddy makes him.
Ingram could. Ingram will. He will.
That's a stretch. I think he's a good player, but I don't know if I'm going All-Star. I like Kuzma, though. I like Kuzma more than all these guys we're talking about outside of Davis. I mean, I think Kuzma's legit. But, I mean, I don't want, if you're the Lakers, I don't want my daddy getting in the way right now of what I got going. I mean, I don't want that. And then and you look at Ingram, and I think he's a good player, but I think him and LeBron there's work to be done, and I don't know if it can really be fixed. And I think Kuzma's a really good player with LeBron. Yeah. So that's why I like the fit there, and why I think that would be the toughest to get rid of, personally. But you're right, they're keeping Hart. But, I'm with Devin as well. You're trading guys like Zubac, promising young players, for Mike Muscala. You're trading second-round draft picks, decent assets that you're going to need if you're going to try to get Anthony Davis, for Reggie Bullock. I just question. I mean, Reggie Bullock, good player. Yeah. Very good player. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm sitting there for the Lakers, and I'm thinking, where does he make sense?
Yeah.
Where does he make sense on the Lakers? And so I wonder, I'm with Devin, they're blowing their future. But at this point, they've blown a couple of nice pieces. So, I mean, part of me is just kind of like, just go in. Literally, just put it all in. But if you're the Pelicans, I can't blame you for waiting now and evaluating your offers. I know, Zach, you've talked about Houston being an interesting fit. What they've been willing to offer multiple first-round draft picks. Let's remember they're also on the lower half. Boston's got more on the top half of the draft. But if you're sitting there and you want picks, you want a lot of them. Well, Houston's already said, I'll give you 4 for Butler. Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking like 6 or 7, all right, for Anthony Davis. And, you trade Capella and you trade Gordon. And to be honest with you, who says no? Who says no? Yeah. I'm getting 7. Yeah. 7 first-round draft picks. I'm getting a promising big Capella, who I know Zach and Devin you're high on, and Eric Gordon, being a nice piece. Yeah. I mean, if you're Houston, holy crap. I mean, James Harden and Anthony Davis, along with Chris Paul. Yeah. Wow. What a team in the West. But I mean, I think it'll be interesting because I think they've got a lot of teams that could suit up and make that offer. I thought one team that was interesting that they won't make an offer is Milwaukee was on Davis's list. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They'll probably toss something. But to be honest, I don't think it's the right move for the Bucks. But I thought it was interesting that he was willing to go to a small market team like the Bucks.
I thought Dallas would have been cool until they traded for KP. Yeah. I thought they would have been, like an interesting place for him to go. But it's easy to say the Lakers are going to get him this summer, but I don't know. I really have no idea where he's going to go. And back to the Lakers, I think the Lakers, if AD hadn't asked for a trade, they would have made a lot more moves than they did. Yeah. It wouldn't have just been Reggie Bullock and Mike Muscala. It would have been like last year with the Cavs, just major overhaul. But
how did that overhaul turn out though?
Exactly.
I agree. They would have done that. But here's the argument that I'm going to have if you're the Lakers, and I'm assessing their team. What was the thing we kept criticizing the Lakers on all season and all off season? Lack of three-point shooting. You're taking your young assets like Zubac, like a good second-round pick, because you need shooting. You blew an opportunity to get shooting because you believed Lonzo Ball, Rajon Rondo, Lance Stevenson, and Michael freaking Beasley make sense together on the same team. They don't make jack crap on the same. They don't make any sense. I don't care if you have LeBron. They don't make anything work. And I questioned the Lakers front office because they should have known this was something LeBron has needed for his entire career. Shooting. And they've got an opportunity to fix it the offseason. Well, They should.
Yeah.
You know, whether they do or don't, I mean, they should. So, I mean, they should look to either, you know, re-sign a Bullock or a Muscala, who I like. Let me point that out. I do like those two guys, but then part of me is like,
You traded Zubac for.
you traded
Muscala.
Zubac
Yeah.
for cap relief. You traded for cap relief and shooting. Beasley was getting he was getting like $8-9 million. He's a scrub. He's cut from the league. I don't think anybody's gonna get him on the buyout market. I mean, who wants that piece of garbage fighting their coach after the games? I mean, who wants that? Who wants that distraction if you're a contending team? So I mean, they blew it in the offseason. Zach and Nevin, they blew it. When they had that opportunity to address these needs, they had it. But they said, we want Rondo, Stevenson, and Beasley. And guys that don't spread the floor.
And JaVale.
Guys that, yes. Well, let me point that out. I think JaVale's a nice piece.
Yeah,
okay, but I think Rondo's a nice piece. But I think Stevenson and Beasley, and you should have known there was going to be a brawl after a game where they were going to get punched. You know, they were going to look to punch the wall. You should have known it. All right? And then you should have been, you know, and then you're blowing a guy I was high on in Zubac. So then I'm sitting there for the Clippers, and I'm like, Zubac and Harrell and Gallinari, and depending on the star you get, that's a good front court.
Yeah.
It's a very good front court. So I just think man, the Lakers blew it in the offseason.
Yeah, they did.
They could have taken Muscala. Muscala's a free agent.
Yeah.
Didn't take it.
Yep.
Bullock. They could have gotten free agent. Blew it again.
Now, they weren't going to trade for Kawhi because Pop was never going to do it.
Sure.
But I don't know. Look, do you guys really think the NBA is going to let the Lakers and LeBron James miss the playoffs? I don't know.
It's a tough call.
I don't think so. I think, and we know they love screwing the Kings. We've seen it. We have seen it like 12 years ago. They will have no problem screwing the Kings over with refs and putting the Lakers in there. And the Clippers, I mean, come on. They've hated the Clippers for years.
But you're watching this Kings team, man. They give their all every possession. You're like, Sacramento, please get into the playoffs. Like, your effort's there. Your talent's there.
Oh, believe me, I'd rather see Dubs Kings first round than Dubs Lakers.
Yes.
Believe me. I would have no problem if the Lakers missed the playoffs.
Yes.
I'm just saying NBA will not let it happen. They're going to put them in there. They're just going to shove them down our throats. Here's the Lakers. You're getting them. Like they did last year with the Warriors Cavs. Yeah. Everybody wanted Rockets Celtics. Everybody. I mean, I was the biggest Rockets fan of all time. And we got round 4 of Cavs Warriors. Like, God.
Terrible.
God.
No, but I think, you know, when you look at the Kings, I believe the league can't screw them over. They've screwed them over for too long.
They screwed them out of a ring.
I'm sitting here as an NBA fan, you know, begging that the Kings get there right now. They look good. Okay,
they screwed them out of a ring in 2002.
Yeah,
They'll have no problem screwing them out of a playoff.
We got to go with optimism here, Zach. We got to go with optimism. I think the Kings are you know, right in the thick of things, and I really believe they're going to get it. Lakers are struggling. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the fact they beat Boston on a bullcrap Rondo floater. I don't care. I don't care. They're struggling. They're
Shot
miserable.
of his life.
Brandon Ingram looked like a piece of... Let me just lay the ball up over the block like Al Horford can't block your shot. I mean, it was just idiotic. And I just sit here and I'm like, please, Sacramento, you're playing so hard this season. You're half a game out of the 8th spot. And, I mean, sign me, honestly. Looking at it from just a normal perspective.
Clippers are slipping out. They're going to slip.
Yeah, they're slipping out. But then you're looking at it from the Kings' perspective.
Yeah.
I say, okay, let's look at the roster. Let's evaluate. Okay, sure, they probably beat us in most positions, all positions, I would argue. But here's the thing. I would argue that the Kings can play a faster tempo, and I think the Kings, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Kings snuck one. I wouldn't. They play hard. Like, Bagley is a really nice piece.
You mean like in a series if they won?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. They would snag one. They'd snag a game.
Home game.
Sure. They're gonna be fired up.
That crowd is loud.
I'm telling you, sign me up for a Kings Warriors. I want to see that so bad. Yeah. And if the Lakers get in, it's because of one man and one man only, the greatest player in our generation, number 23, LeBron James. That is the reason. That is the reason. That is the reason.
I mean, this Lakers team is better than the Cavs were last year. I think.
but it's not by much.
Yeah, I think.
I think they are because.
They are,
but
yeah.
here's the thing, though. Like I'm kind of hoping all this trade saga, gets to them a little bit.
Yeah,
They're like
already.
separating, and it looks like a divorce out there on the
Yeah.
bench for crying out loud. You got LeBron James on one side, you got everybody else on the other. I mean, it's like one of those things. Like you're like, what? I mean, I don't know, man. I really think, the Kings deserve it, man. And just see them play hard every game. They were on NBA TV the other night, playing their butts off against San Antonio at home, and they came out of there and they beat them, and they're a great team at home. They lack what we've been talking about. They lack the road wins. They're 11-15 right now on the road, 18-11 at home. I feel like all.
What are they overall?
Right now they're 9. They're the 9th seed, 29-26.
Okay.
Half game out, obviously. Clippers are 30-26. So I look at this and I say to myself, all right, Sacramento, you've got some interesting competition. You've got the Suns at home. You're gonna beat them.
Oh, yeah.
You got the tough one, a tough little road trip going though. The 3 top teams in the West, on the road, Denver, Golden State, OKC, and then you're going on the road to Minnesota. So that's a tough little 4 games. You're scared. I mean, if they can go 500 in that, that's big.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they'll beat Minnesota on the road. But I sit there and I think, this team has got a nice boost. Vlade Divac, a guy that many of us were dissing and criticizing. But man, what a job.
Yeah.
What a job he's doing this year.
He redeemed himself big time.
Getting Barnes, I thought the Mavericks, I just didn't like the deal for Dallas. I don't think Justin Jackson's all that great. I think Zach Randolph was a buyout guy right when they traded him. And I think they avoided it. I think they literally avoided it, and they just traded him to get a really good piece. And so now, if you look at the Kings and you look at where they're at, I mean, I'm looking at the roster, and it's just they've got.
It's a nice roster.
It's a great roster.
Nice.
They went now another little underrated piece. When Rodney Hood went to Portland, Alec Burks came into Sacramento.
That's right. Yeah.
Very nice little 15 minute a game player. And then you got, if you look at the rotation as a whole, okay, you say, okay, I got Fox, I got Hield, I got Barnes. Bjelica is a nice player to spread the court in limited minutes. Cauley Stein's a legit player, along with Bagley and Giles. The former IU product, Jordy Farrell.
Yeah.
A very capable backup guard.
Oh, yeah.
I sit there and I'm like, Kings, do everything you can to make it. I want to see you make it so bad. I just do.
Look what the Pelicans did to the Warriors last year. I mean, they snuck one, and they were that was what they did. They high tempo.
Yeah.
And even Kevin Durant, came out afterwards and said, they ran us down like we've never been ran down before this year.
Yeah.
So I I do think tempo really does play against the Warriors.
Sure.
I mean, they're one of the best tempo teams. Get out, go 3-pointers, but when you can fire it right back at them, it gets pretty tough.
Well, and then last night they're down 11 in the 4th. Come back and they win. Fox didn't even play that good. He was 5 of 17. Rough game, really. But then you credit the bench. You get Bogdanovich 16. You get Bagley was not great. 3 points. That wasn't ideal. But they Buddy Hield, man, balling out this season. 23 points and 50% from the field. I mean, there's a lot of talent on this Kings team. It's exciting, and I really want to see them in the playoffs. Because you can't tell me now that they picked up Barnes. The Barnes like, all right, give me a piece of this action.
Oh, yeah.
Former team of mine, you said I wasn't good enough for you.
Yeah.
I think there's no question he's going to remember that.
Yeah.
And, he's on a contract here, so he's going to play harder anyway. But then, I really think, I want to see him bad. They've been my favorite team to watch this season.
Yeah.
They're hard, they're competitive, and terrific coaching job, terrific executive work. So yeah, man.
Hey, give credit to Devin. He called it preseason. De'Aaron Fox, most improved player, and he might be right.
He's in there, but he's in there. A great pick though. I mean, he is definitely in that convo. I mean, Fox is great. You sit there and then you evaluate it. There's a guy in Indiana who can win most improved. You sit there and Turner, who could win most, and I think Vucevic is a guy you could consider in that mix as well. I would say you would lean him as the favorite. Depending now, if the Kings make the playoffs, then I think then it's interesting because it's not going to be done just by Fox. It's going to be done by guys like Buddy Hield too, and Buddy Hield's been balling out right now to get him back in that.
Do you think Jokic qualifies, or was he good enough last year that he wouldn't qualify for most improved?
League recognized him, man. The national media recognized Denver.
Yeah.
We talked about this the other day. No one sees Denver. And ever since then, ESPN's like, oh, yeah, no one sees Denver. And they're the second best team in the West. And they could go to it's not crazy that they can be competitive with the Warriors. It's not crazy. Like, yeah, we should have them on more. And, Jokic has been balling out for them. And, man, they have tremendous depth.
Yeah, they do.
Denver does.
Oh, yeah. Will Barton, man,
But
I love that guy.
And I'll tell you, here's the thing with Denver that I love about Jokic, but it's a credit to their team. Jokic, who wouldn't want to play with Jokic?
Oh, you're right.
This man
makes everybody
gets
better.
you 20 plus points a game.
Yeah.
Gets you like 8 or 9, but it gets you that 7-8 assists.
Yeah.
That's filthy.
Yeah,
It's filthy. So then your depth, you got Jamal Murray, you have Gary Harris. All right, you got Jokic in there, you got Millsap in there. Torrey Craig's a nice piece.
Will Barton.
Along with Will Barton,
Yeah.
Gary Harris,
Yeah.
Malik Beasley, Monte Morris. And this is a good Denver team.
Has Isaiah played this year?
Not yet.
I think he's coming back though.
Not
He's
yet.
coming back.
He's coming back, and they got some nice young pieces. Jared Vanderbilt, the kid out of Kentucky, he was out for a little bit. I think he's a nice piece. Michael Porter, a guy that we sat there and
Jeez,
worried about where he
forgot about that guy.
They snagged him.
Yeah.
So if he comes into
I thought he was
anything,
dead.
dude,
Damn.
Denver is set. Denver is set for the long run.
Oh yeah.
A heck of a coaching job by Mike Malone.
Yeah.
And
Sacramento let him go.
Tossed out of Sacramento.
Denver.
Yeah.
I was
Sac
a little
town.
bit shocked, to be honest with you, that they didn't look to address something. I was a little bit shocked. I mean, I think they've got a great team with great depth.
Yeah, they're number 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I thought maybe make a little like a role switch. But I mean, again, I can't blame them
Oh.
because they got all these great. I mean, to me, it's a better and more. I'd argue it's a better version of Boston.
Yeah.
Because they've got some picks. They don't have a lot. They got some. But they've got all these young talents. But the beautiful part about it is Jokic is the most unselfish number 1 player in this league. So he is
He's up there.
dishing it out, man.
He's
And who doesn't want to play for that? I mean, Jamal Murray wants to shoot 25 times, so he isn't a typical point guard.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great player, but he's not a typical guy that you can bank on those 10 assists with. Jokic is that dude for you. Millsap is that dude for you. I think Denver's really, really good. Man, I'm excited to see what the playoff stage is going to bring.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, part of me, I know Zach talked about it on the pod, they haven't, are they going to play, is it going to be like what Toronto was last couple seasons, right? Where they were like dominant in the regular season,
Swept.
but then just like, they weren't the same. But then you have to wonder, and you have to sit there and say, they're so unselfish. How is it possible? Like, they're so unselfish that so many guys are, they're about winning.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, man. I think Denver's, great team. Great team.
yeah. Jokic is 6th in assists
In the whole league.
in the whole league.
Damn.
7.7 a game.
I think the MVP is James Harden's to lose.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
and then it probably goes Giannis and then Jokic, the top 3. MVP voting.
Really?
Forgetting about Paul George here. I got Paul George.
I like the Jokic. I like it.
How about
Because here's my. I mean,
Paul George 4th.
Because I'm with you. We knew George. We knew of George. We knew. Now, don't get me wrong. The injury, I feel like portrayed a vision that we didn't recognize. I mean, George is playing at a level he's never played at before. It's really outstanding,
Awesome.
and it's great to see, whether you're a Pacers fan or whether you're not. And so but when you look at Jokic, just no one thought that you could get that type
He's a
of
second
play.
round pick,
I mean,
if
you
I'm-
look at that guy. That guy was chubby by a lot of people. ESPN
fat.
analyst Jackie McMullen, well respected, went in on that fact, talking about the fact that Jokic was not somebody who was all that, the great body, the great athletic, ripped center. He wasn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't him. But he figured it out, and man, terrific. I'm with Zach. I think he's 3, and depending, I think the Bucks, because they're surging to have the best record in the league.
Yeah.
And if they retain that, then I definitely think the case for Giannis gets, or the case for Harden gets more interesting as well. But I mean, most years, I mean, Jokic is second. Jokic is maybe, in that conversation for first. But I think, I'm with Zach. You got to give Jokic third, man. What a year. What a year. Now, I do think if the Thunder can jump past them, that's when it gets a little bit more open. But I'm going to reward winning.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that Jokic
Me too.
gets in.
We can finish up with Wes Matthews. Damn good move. Pritchard. I mean, I don't care.
Love the guy.
Pritchard. I was a little scratching my head about the Stauskas move. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you?
But then he redeemed himself with Wes. So at this point, I'm just like, you know what, Pritchard, you got my trust.
Yeah.
You got my trust.
What a move, though.
Yeah.
What a move.
Wes.
A lot of suitors.
I mean, I would be shocked if Wes doesn't help right away.
Oh, he's.
But let me point this out, though. Name McMillan, first coach he ever had.
That's right.
Yeah, Wes Matthews.
They've got some familiarity in that organization.
It's a good pull.
Certainly that helped.
Yeah.
But Pritchard recognized it. That's the beautiful part.
Yeah.
Pritchard recognized it.
Yeah.
And
well, Pritchard was in Portland too.
I'm not sure on that, but I mean I know for a fact. Obviously you got McMillan who was, and there's a need, to get a nice veteran in. There was a need.
Yeah.
There was a need. I mean, if they want to keep being competitive, and I really think this could be a good long-term move for Indiana. So.
Oh yeah.
Love the move.
I mean, until McDermott. I don't know what's wrong with McDermott, but I think Wes can be what they thought McDermott was going to be. Just kind of like a 3-and-D guy. I love it. I love the move.
Fits into the system perfectly. He's probably going to take over as starting shooting guard. He's at career average 13.8 points per game. He'll give you the scoring. 38% 3-point shooter for his career.
Yeah.
He's a good defensive player. You can't ask much more for him.
No.
I mean, his stats are definitely going to spike up a little bit, but... Oh, and then another shout-out to Bojan for...
Oh, yeah.
I did the tally. I did the math. He's averaging 20.3 points per game since Depot.
Since Victor went down.
And he's 48% from the field. He's...
Beautiful.
He's going crazy.
Beautiful. Love it. Love it. All right, guys. Good episode 2. Thanks for listening, everybody. Can't wait to do this again.